Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are now in lesson 8, set operators. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe set operators, use a set operator to combine multiple queries into a single query, and control the order of rows written. Set operators are used to combine the results from different select statements into one single result output. Sometimes, you want a single output from more than one table. We can use join operation, but if you join the tables, the rows that meet the join criteria are only returned. But what if we want a join that will return a result set that doesn't meet your needs? This is where set operators come in. They can return the rows found in multiple select statements, the rows that are in one table and not the other, or the rows common to both statements. In simpler words, we can combine multiple complete SQLs by using set operators to give a result. Since we combine multiple complete SQLs, normally it is also known as compound queries. These are the operators that we covered in our lesson. The first one is union. It returns rows from both queries after eliminating the duplications. The second one is union all. It returns rows from both queries including all duplications. The third one is intersect. It returns rows that are common to both queries. Last but not least, minus operation. It returns rows in the first query that are not present in the second query. These are the rules or guidelines if you want to use set operator. The first one, number of columns selected for the queries must be the same. Corresponding columns for the queries must have the mesh data type. Next, the names of the columns need not be identical. Column names in the output are taken from the column names in the first select statement. Parentheses can be used to alter the sequence of execution. And last one, order by clause can appear only at the very end of the statement. Let's consider to have these two sets, A and B. A has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the data and B has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as the data. In database, we consider A and B as the tables and the number for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is under AID column and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is under BID column. The union operator returns all rows from multiple tables from both queries after eliminating duplications. If you join A and B, you would only get 4 and 5 as the result. This is because they are the only matching values from both tables. However, in set operator, we can combine data from table A and data from table B by using set operator. For example, union. Select AID from A, union with select BID from B. So now data from A and data from B will be combined in one result. However, the 4 and 5 will not be repeated because union operation will eliminate duplicates. If you want the duplication of the data from table A and table B, we can use union all. For example, select AID from A, union all, select BID from B. The result that we will get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The duplication will not be removed. The next operation is intersect. Intersect operator returns all rows common to both tables. So if you take a look, select AID from A, intersect, select BID from B. The common value between A and B is only 4 and 5. So the result returned by this operation is 4 and 5. The next operation is minus. Minus operator returns all rows found in one table but not the other. For example, we have select AID from A minus select BID from B. So from A we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and from B we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A minus B means what's in A not in B. Okay, what's in A not in B is 1, 2 and 3. So that's the result of our minus operation. Let's take a look at the example of set operators in HR schema. The tables that we are going to use here is employees and also job history. inside employees table here, it will provide details regarding all current employees. So if you take a look, these are the data of employees and their current job, current job in the company. However, in job history, it records the details of start date and end date of the former jobs and the job identification number and department when an employee switches job. Let's take a look at this example. We have employee 101 Nina here. Okay, let's take a look at the job history. At first, Nina, the start date of Nina working in the company is in 1997. Okay, Nina works as an accountant. Okay, the end date of Nina's work as an accountant is on 2001. Because why? After that, she was appointed as the manager of the account department. Okay, the manager of account department. But right now, what is the job of Nina? So if we take a look in our department, in our employees table, Nina is right now a vice president. Okay, so what we can say here, by the time Nina works in the company, she started as the accountant. Then she is promoted as the manager in 2001. And in 2005, up until now, she was appointed as the vice president of the company. One thing that you need to remember is this is the job history of the employees inside the company, because sometimes in the company you can get promoted or you can get depromoted. So by right, it is not the job history of the employees from the outside company, but inside the company. So just take a look at Nina. She changes work 3 times. Okay, the first one as an accountant, followed by manager, and right now she is the vice president of the company. Let's take a look at this example. Display the current and previous job details of all employees and display each employee only once. Means we need to eliminate the duplication. So if we want to see the current job of the employees, we need to get the data from employees table. And if you want to see the previous job details of all the employees, we can get from job history. So if you take a look inside our job history table, we have the columns of employee ID and the job ID. We also have that particular column inside employees table, employee ID, job ID. So if you want to know the current job of the employees, we can select from employees. If you want to know the previous job held by the employees inside the company, we can choose a job ID from job history. For example here, select employee ID, job ID from employees, union with select employee ID, job ID from job history. Okay, so if you want to know that, this has to be complete SQL. If we execute this one, we will have this result 107 employees together with the job ID. So the second one, okay, this is a complete SQL also. Select employee ID, job ID from job history. If we execute, we will have 10 result. So if we union, supposedly if you union, result from first SQL is combined from result from the second SQL. Okay, the result that we will get is 115. Okay, 115 rows. Okay, after this we will see why. If you take a look here, 102 IT Prop, 103 IT Prop, even though it looks like it is duplicate IT Prop, but take a look, the employee ID is different. So that's why it is not a duplicated values. If you take a look just now, we have 107 employees, we have 10 employees from this result. Supposedly if we union, we will get 117, isn't it? But if we execute this one, we will get only 115. What does it mean? Means there are duplication in the value. If you want to see all the 117 results, because this one yields 107 rows, this one yields 10 rows. If we combine 117, we can use union all. Union all will take all results from the first query and combine with all results from the second query, and it will not remove the duplication. The duplication will be listed also. Okay, so that's why we have 117. Okay, so let's try to find which value is duplicated. Okay, so if we take a look here, see we have duplicated value 176 as AREP, 176 as AREP. Okay, now let's change the question. Let's find employees that change job but now have gone back to doing the same job that they did previously. What does it mean here? Before this, he or she has worked as this job ID, and right now he or she is currently doing the same job that they have done previously. So if you want to see the intersect value, then the common value, then we can use intersect. So what does it mean here? The common value from employees table and the common value from the job history table will be listed. I would guess that the data will be 2 rows of result, because why? If we use union here, 107 and 10, supposedly we will get 117, isn't it? But we get only 115, means there are 2 duplicated rows. So how to see the duplicated rows? We can take a look on intersect, means the common values between these 2 results. There are 2 rows. Okay, take a look. These are the employees who is currently doing the same job that they have done previously. This situation might happening in your company. For example, right now you are the sales representative of the company, but since the marketing department is not enough manpower, you are needed to change to become marketing executive for a while. Once they found the marketing executive, you need to go back to your previous department as sales representative. Means right now you are doing the job that you have done previously. So let's take a look at minus operation. For example here, select employee ID from employees. If I execute this query, I will have 107 employees. Okay, then if I minus with select employee ID from job history, if I execute the second query alone, I will have 10 rows of result. So now 107 minus 10 rows, what would be the result? So if you take a look here, we have 100 rows of result. So what does it mean here? So this one, we can say that there are 100 employees who did not change their job ever since they are hired in the company. Okay, because if you take a look here, all employees minus all employees that have changed their job, what we will get? We will get employees that never change their job inside the company. So that's minus operation. All employees minus employees that have changed their job, means what we will get? Employees that never changed their job inside the company since hired. So we have taken a look at all of the set operators: union, union all, intersect, and also minus. So now let's take a look at the rules of our set operator. As I said, the first rule that you need to understand is the number of columns being selected must be the same. If you take a look, the first query, how many columns they select? 2. So the second query also must select 2 columns. That's the first thing that you need to make sure that the queries will have if you want to use the union operator. The second one, the corresponding column must have match data type. For example here, column number 1 to column number 1. This column number 1 is number, the second column also must be a number. The second column here is a character. The second column here also must be a character. So if we execute this one, then we can get the result. But what if I select another one? Salary. Okay, select employee ID, job ID, salary from employees, union. Because if we run this query alone, we can get the result. Okay, so if we run the second query alone, can we get the result? Yes, we can get the result. So by right, both queries are correct. Okay, however, if you take a look, the second select statement here, we have only 2 columns. The first one, we have 3 different columns. If we execute, it cannot be executed. The result will not be listed because we will have an error message. Okay, because in the first select statement, you select 3 columns. In the second one, you select only 2. Okay, the first rule here that you need to understand is the number of columns being selected must be the same. If you take a look, what if I remove the salary here. This one looks correct, isn't it? But what if I don't have the from column here? If I execute, it will receive an error message also. Why? Because why? It is a compound query. The first query must be a full query. For example, from employees. You can have where clause. You can have after from. You can have join also. There's no problem. As long as this is a complete query. Okay, complete query. It has to be like this. Complete query. Then we have complete query. Okay, then here is the set operator. Okay, set operator. Okay, so by right you need to understand the first query must be complete, the second query must be complete. It can be anything. It can be join operation, it can be group by. It's up to you. Okay, group by, not group by. Later we will see about the group by and how to buy. Okay, however, it has to be complete queries here. Okay, so now let's take a look at the second rules here. Okay, the first one, as I said, number of columns selected must be the same. Then the second one, corresponding column must have matched data type. For example here, I change this one into last name. Okay, how many columns be selected in the first query? 2 different columns. In the second query, 2 different columns. It is correct. Okay, let's take a look at the data type. Number to number, character to character. There's no problem, isn't it? Supposedly, we can get the result. However, it is not significant. How can you compare the last name and also job ID? It is not significant. Okay, even though we have the same name, same data type, but it is not significant. What if I change this one to become salary? Okay, this is a correct query, isn't it? So if you run it alone, it can be, you can get the result. If you run this alone, you can get the result also. But this one now, 2 columns. The first rule is fulfilled. How about the second one? Number to number, number to character. So this does not match. The corresponding column does not have matched data type. So if you execute this one, you will receive an error message. So that's the most important rules in our set operator. Okay, the number of column being selected must be the same, and the corresponding column must have matched data type and significant. Sometimes you can select columns that does not match by using set operators. To do that, you can use toChar null, toNumber null, or toDate null for the columns. Let's take a look at this example. By using union operator, display the location ID, department name, and the state where it is located. Okay, so if you take a look, the location ID is coming from table locations and also department. Take a look, we have location ID. Okay, inside departments also we have location ID. Then the second one, they ask for department name. Department name coming from departments. Okay, and the last one, state. State province is coming from table locations. Okay, so means now we need to combine data that are coming from 2 different tables. The first one is departments, the second one is location. So what we can do is select, the first one is location ID. Okay, select location ID. The second one, department name. The third one is state province. Okay, state province from departments, union with. Okay, union with. We select the same thing. Okay, we select the same data, the same columns, however from table locations. Okay, so if we take a look here, inside department, can we have location ID? Yes. Inside departments, can we have department name? Yes. But do you have state province inside departments? Take a look in your departments. Is there any state province? No. Means now it has to be null over here. Okay. The second one, select location ID. Can you find location ID inside locations? Yes. Okay, we have location. But can you find department name inside locations? No. Means it has to be null over here. And the third one, state province, can you find inside the location? Yes. So why do we put null over here? Because of we want to select 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We want to fulfill the first requirements. which is number of columns selected must be the same. Now the second one, the corresponding column must have matched data type, number to number. This is character to null. This is character to null, so it does not match. So how can we convert this null to match the character? Then we can use to char of this null. So now this null now has become character, number to number, character to character. Now this is character, this one also has to be to character. Okay, to char null. So means it has also 1, 2, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, number, character, 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 character. So it is matched already. So when it is matched, then we can execute. So when you execute, then this is the results that you will get. There's one thing I forgot to highlight. The column header here will always follow the first select statement. Okay, the first select statement, location ID, department name. This is to channel. So it does not seems nice, isn't it? So maybe we can rename this one to become state province. Okay, so that it will look better in the representation of the result. Because this is a state province, then rename it as state province, so that you will know that it will always follow the column header from the first SQL statement. Okay, so right now make sure that if you want to rename your column heading, rename it at the first SQL statement here. Okay, as I said just now, let's take a look. What if I want to select employee ID, job ID, salary from employees union with select employee ID, job ID from job history. This one you select 3 different columns. The first SQL statement, the second one you select only 2. So now here it has to be null, isn't it, to match, because inside our job history there's no salary column. Okay, there is no salary column. So what we can do is we put null over here. So this is number to number, character to character, number to null. So it does not match. So what can we do? We can change to number of this null. So if you change this way, this is number to number, it is matched already, then it can be executed. But we know that salary, if you put null, maybe it does not look nice. Okay, it does not look nice. So what we can do, if the number has no value, we can put 0, isn't it? So means now this is number, 0 is a number, salary is a number, so it is matched already. So instead of showing null, we can put as 0. So it's up to you to what value do you want to put. So maybe you want to put like 1500. Also it can be done, because this is number compared with a number. If we take a look in our employees table, we have hire date. Hire date is the start date of that particular job, isn't it? Inside our job history, we have start date and end date. So we can select 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It does not match, isn't it? So it has to be null over here. Okay, so we match 4 columns, number to number, character to character, date to date. This is null to date. So we can change this null to become to date of null. Okay, so now we are comparing 4 columns to 4 columns. Corresponding data type also is match. Okay, so if we execute, this is the result that we will get. So you can match the matching select statement here by using the to char null, to date null, or to number null according to what you are trying to find. Using the order by clause in set operations. Okay, the order by clause can appear only once at the end of the compound query. Compound queries cannot have individual order by clauses. Order by clause recognize only the columns of the first select query. By default, the first column of the first select query is used to sort the output in an ascending order. Let's take a look on the example. So let's add the order by clause over here. Order by 1. What is about order by 1? Order by 1 is order by employee ID. So if we execute this one, we will receive an error message. Because why? Order by clause can only be at the very last part of SQL statement. So what is the very last part here? Order by one. But what is one here? One is employee ID. Which employee ID? Employee ID of the first select statement. Even though it is placed at the second SQL statement, however, it will always follow the first SQL statement here. Order by employee ID inside this first select statement. So if you execute, order by 1. So 100, 101, 102 and the rest. Then if you want to be descending, of course it can be in descending order. Okay, but it will always follow the first select statement. If I order by 2, what is 2 here? 2 is job ID. But which job ID? Job ID from the first select statement. Okay, so you need to remember order by clause must be at the very last part of the SQL no matter what, and it will always follow the first select statement for the compound queries here. So I guess that's all for now. See you again in the next lesson. Thank you.